Hi again then guys, and welcome to episode 27 of SuperSports, the review series for Gran Turismo's selection of vehicles which go beyond your average sports car, but at the same time aren't necessarily on the same level as a supercar. And in this episode, this is one of the most quintessential examples of this really. It's the 5th generation or C5 shape Corvette Z06. Now there are two versions of the street-going C5 Corvette on the game. There's the 2004 shape, which is this one here, which is a premium, and there is also a non-premium model. Now I'm not going to be reviewing the non-premium spec machine because there's just no point. The vehicles are so similar, there's no advantage to the non-premium model overall. This is by far the better of the two cars. Now if you fancy buying the premium just because you're a huge Corvette fan, I can understand that. I've done that myself, but just don't expect it to be amazing because it's no better. Now, this car has one of the luxuries which very few cars on Gran Turismo has, and that is to be underappreciated. And that's something which people do take for granted, because that is a very valuable asset to have. If you're a car which is much more competitive than people think it is, that is a massive point on your side. This car has that. You see hardly anyone using the 5th generation road-going Corvette. You see some people using the C5R race car, but hardly anyone uses the road version. In fact, I can't think of a single time that I've seen anyone else apart from myself use this car. Obviously there are people who do, I just haven't seen them. So is it a bad car? If people don't use it, surely that's an indicator that it's not among the best you can get, because people tend to, especially over the course of 2 years now on Gran Turismo 6, people tend to weed out the best and the worst of cars, and you tend to see the same best models recycled through the lobbies. Well no, that's just not the case with this car, because it is a genuinely fantastic model. I love the 5th generation Corvette, and it's a brilliant car. It's not necessarily as sharp as the C7, and it doesn't have the absolute straight line power of the C6, but it's a very good car nonetheless. And it has what neither of those models have to their advantage, which is that understated performance, which people don't expect. Now as far as spec, it's powered by a 5.7 litre supercharged V8, it's rear-wheel drive of course, and it puts out fully tuned just under 850 horsepower and just over 750 pound-feet of torque. It only weighs in at a pretty respectable 1158 kilos and consequently produces a very good 731 horsepower per tonne. The PP's not quite as high as it could be, which is kind of a good thing, at 614 pp, and the price is fantastic. 54,000 credits will get you this premium spec Corvette. Now all of the Corvettes, generally speaking, are very good value. Some cost a bit more than others, but they're all very good value. This car's no exception to that. It's a fantastic value for money SuperSports model. As we said, it's already a premium model, and it has some really cool visual upgrades. It has a diffuser, you can put custom wings on it, a custom body kit, and it even comes with a unique striped paint job as an option. That's a dealership option though, not an aftermarket option. In terms of actual performance, it can do around 280 miles per hour under its own power. So the fact that it does have quite a bit less power than the other Corvettes, especially the newer ones, does not work as much of a disadvantage against it. It's still a seriously rapid machine. With draft, it will easily go beyond 300 miles per hour, well beyond in fact. The acceleration, as you'd expect from an American car, especially a modern one, is very good. And the handling is surprisingly good as well. Surprisingly forgiving, and as I mentioned earlier, it's a little bit softer, I would say, than the C7 and the C6, a little bit more dull in its driving, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It has more of a touring kind of feel to it. Not a touring car, but more of a touring spec. Kind of a softer, more luxurious, long distance feel to it. So potentially quite a good endurance race car. Or endurance road car technically, but you know what I mean. Overall, if you're looking for a strong supersports car that you'll probably be the only person in the room to use, this is a great option to go for. It's a brilliant car for that. Its straight line performance is fantastic, its cornering is surprisingly good, it's a premium, which is still relatively rare for many supersports models on the game, and it's underappreciated. So, it's a great all-round choice to go for, especially for Corvette fans. And that's it for this episode, so I'll see you guys next time, and as always, thanks for watching.